Welcome back to PJ Chen Design. This is PJ. In this video, I'll show you how to model a twist ring shank in Rhino 3D software and create a smooth, seamless transition. Are you ready? Let's get started. Many of the jewelry design play a lot with the illusion. It looked like this ring shank is kind of a twisting coming into here once it's turning into the rendering. It's actually built by two different parts and added up together. And we can adjust this piece to hug on the stone a little bit more, but I would like to show you how to make them seamless. And then so it look like it's in one single part. That's starting from the scratch. You can download the stone from the description below, and once you get the stone, just copy and paste to the file that you are working on. And then I'm going to use this stone close to a size about 4mm. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, the second thing I wanted to do is decide the ring size. I'm going to use the circle command and snapping into the center, and I'm going to set it up for diameter for 16, and you can set it up any size that you want, or you can want, maybe I wanted this just a little bit bigger. All right, that's creating the bezel first. Before we do that, make sure the cullet of the stone, it is not stick it out into the ring size, otherwise it will scratch your finger. So I always like to keep this distance in between about 0.5mm to 0.8mm or 1mm if you want higher. All right, so that's creating the bezel first. It's quite simple. We just need to draw any of the size, and depends on how thick you would like to have your bezel, and then I'm going to make it cut it in a little bit. Notice that my stone is not cutting all the way, like halfway, because once you do that, your bezel probably will break. So I want to do like roughly about 20-25%, and that's enough. If this is for the stone setting, you might also want to cut the seat out. For example, you want to do something like this, snapping roughly right here, and then using this and the curve, and then you want to trim each other like this one. We want to trim the extra here, and then once we have this, we just need to join them. All right, so this will be the profile of the bezel. Now to make it into the bezel, we're going to come to the surface. You have the revolve, and you want to snapping into the center and do 360 degrees, so then you'll get a bezel right there. Notice that this is higher than the table. That's right, it's because our jeweler will need some room to push over, and once it's done, and you can smooth it out. Now if you do not like the look of that, because you are going to do for rendering instead of for the stone setting, I will suggest you round it off your part first. And instead of doing something like this, let's go back few steps before we trim it out. We actually will like to set it up like this. I'm gonna move this one a little bit lower and somewhere about half of the crown size, and I'm going to giving a fillet for maybe 0.4mm on this corner and also on this corner, so they look nice and round, and without cutting any of them, because this is for the rendering purpose. We want to go into the revolve, and we want to snapping into the 0, and axis going up at the front view 360 degree, and I will get something like this. And if you take a look on the render view, you're gonna see this is really nice and rounded, and have any of the metal rendering material in there, it will look high shine. Okay, so that is the easy part. Now let's do the ring shank. I simply just going to creating a ring shank for roughly about this size. It can be any size for yours, and I'm not gonna do the side stone setting because this is the main thing I want to discuss in this tutorial. It's the ring shank twisting. All right, so once I have that, I'm going to making a copy, because there will be a channel set on the top that I would like to show you. Not say I'm going to put a stone there, but I would like to show you how to actually blend it really well, even with the channel set on it. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to align in the center, and this is where you're going to decide how big is your stone in order to decide how much room you're going to cut it off. I have two curves here. I'm just going to hide one of it, and for this two curve, I'm going to trimming them off, and so they are going to look something like this. And let's go ahead to join it once it is trimmed. Okay, now if I have this one, and I'm also going to mirror to the other side, And then I have two profiles you can see on my perspective. To creating the top one, let's go ahead to use the surface tool. You have sweep one rail. You pick up this rail, you pick up this cross section and this cross section, and you will creating the top part right there. Okay, and this is where it is as a continuous piece, right? And then we're gonna trim the bottom of this piece, so don't worry at this point. But what we'd like to do is creating some sort of a cut coming here and go wrap around to the center of the stone, right? So we need to know where we wanted to cut it. So let's take a look on the top view. Now this is our top view in the ghost view. And then I would like to have something go maybe from here, coming around, wrap it around, and coming over here, and it's kind of slice somewhere like this and coming down something like this. All right, and this might be snapping to somewhere really crazy. Let's take a look. It is not. I mean, good luck. If it does, that's okay. You can just project it to construction plane, project it to C plane. So once we have that, I want to adjust and make sure they, going really close, so it's well wrapping around. We can also adjust it later once we sweep it, but it's always nice on every step that you can control it. So now this is where that I have here. All right, look at this one on my perspective view. This is where it's going to be huggy to my center stone, and then I do want to have this curve follow my ring rail. So the command that you're going to use is curve from to view. All right, you're gonna pick up this one and pick up this one, and really quickly you'll get this one and the one in the bottom. The one in the bottom, we don't need it, we just need this one right here, and this curve is actually follow those two curves to create. All right, now you see we have this curve. If you wanted to adjust even more, that you can rebuild this guy. And as long as they stay with the degree 3, you can rebuild it without losing too much shape. Like this is 8 point, that will be okay. And I can click on that. Now, if you do want to moving around, this is more manageable in this way instead of having 27 point there. Okay, so now we have this. I would like to creating a profile in order for me to sweep. And first of all, I need to creating a cross section. So let me go ahead to starting a cross section, and basically I want to make a rectangle, and I want to snapping into the endpoint right there, and roughly about this, right? So this is, if you take a look on this, let's do a test so maybe it's easier for you to understand. If I go into use my surface and I want to use a sweep one rail, you can notice that this will follow this and coming into here. But the problem is they are not continuous coming really well. Like this piece right here, the one we just created, it is above of this one. It's because it's using exactly the same profile, right? So in order for it to seamless continue coming here, one thing you wanted to do is first you need to make sure the cross section is ending here perfectly, right? So this is what I like to do. I'm going to creating something and make sure it's touching this point on this curve. So we are going to creating the curve from the surface in order to make sure they 100% match. That's coming into the curve. You have the curve from the object, and then you have the ones called extract ISO curve. So we're gonna pick up this surface right here, and we want to extract the ISO curve in the other direction. So that's toggle, and we want to make sure that the intersection on the all snap is select, and then we will click on this one. So that way this curve is matching with this point. All right, and I'm going to use that to extract ISO curve again on this one, and again snapping into the endpoint. So we have something like this. Now I have those two curves. What can we do with it? We can creating the rectangle and using 3 point. So first point is endpoint, second point is endpoint, and the third point is the endpoint. So that way, in this way, that's putting something right here for the red color. And then you can see this is 100% on this surface right there. We're going to use this one as our cross section as well. Let's give it another try. We're gonna coming into here, and that's using the surface tool. You have sweep one rail. You're gonna pick up this as a rail. You're gonna pick up this one is a cross section, and this one is an ending cross section. Make sure you record a history, and that's hit OK. Alright, so this is not too bad. As you can see, it is coming to here. Let's take a look on the render view and see what we get here. Alright, it's not too bad, but I do not like the way it is open right here and it's not hugging really well. So now this is the point that is advantage if you use the record history. So let's go ahead to pick up this curve. If I'm moving a little bit, if I tilt it a little bit, and that's how you can control it if it hug it better in that way. Now you also see that it is look like it is a direct cut here. I wish I have this curve going a little bit smoother. All right. So if that is the case and that is really bother you, I am going to show you another way to make it smoother. We're going to delete that surface we just made, and we're gonna keep this one here because it's hug it better. But we need to change this curve a little bit to make it look like it's going really well. So instead of having something like this, I'm going to temporarily lock this one just for the comparison. And then I'm going to creating one curve, really small section right here, and that I'm going to mark it into the green color. All right, the other one right here, I'm going to duplicate it, this edges right here, and we're gonna use a trim command using this one to trim off the curve we just created. All right, so now with this curve, let me turn it into the green one here. You can see I got two curves right here and right here. All right, we're going to make them look really nice together. That's using the command for blend. And we want to blend from this green one to this green one. And as you can see, we got a curve. It's kind of floated really nice. And you can adjust this curve by looking at the top view. If you don't like how it's cutting so much, you can kind of drag this one out a little bit, so it will be better. All right, and then again you can kind of dragging this one in and out and see if whichever that fit it better. So that's it, we have something like this. All right, and let's click OK. Now this is a new curve. Notice that it is blended into the curve that you have there and you have there. Let's give it a try with this new curve. And before we are trying, notice that this curve at the front view, it has a bump there. So we need this curve come back into the rim rail that we have. Okay, so do additional one more things. I'm going to extrude this guy into a surface. Now with this surface, I'm going to make it a bit longer. I simply just going to pull it back to this surface. So let's go ahead to use the pull command. And we're gonna pull this curve back to this surface. So now it's attached to this surface. It's, you can see on my front view, it's no longer has that bump. And if you want to continue to edit, you can rebuild this curve. Again, we want to rebuild into the last point, so it's easier for us to pull. All right, with all this extra, let's see how it goes. We're gonna go with the surface tool with the sweep one rail, and then you got rail and cross section, and you got this cross section right there. And let's give it a try. And don't forget to record a history. So now you can see this is kind of blended really well from there to there. And if you don't like it getting bigger like what I have here, this is what's a temporary that we just draw. You can make them thinner and you can make them taller or shorter. It's up to you for whatever that you like to do. Okay, so now we have something like this. It looks really nice, and if that is what you want, we can use that to trim off all the extra in the middle. Let's go ahead to make it into the solid by using the cap command. So that one is cap, and this one is cap as well. So two of them are solid. Now you want to use a bowling split, that this one will be split out by this one, and let's see if that works. And notice that it is still, I mean, this one is like 100% touch, so that surface doesn't get split. And the little trick that I will use is I will move this one back to that position by minus 0.1. So it moved just a little bit. All right, so let's give it another try. We want to do the boolean split, and this one is going to be split by this one. So with all this extra right here, we can delete them, and all we need to do is move it back 0.01. So that will match there. All right, and of course you can get the stone setting on this side. And then once you like it, you can go ahead to bowl in this one and this one. I'm just going to temporarily to group it for this demonstration. Now you do not want to use the mirror to bring it into other side. It's because if you mirror, then you're going to see something look like this, and that's not what you want. You actually is going to use the rotate and make sure copy equal yes on the top, and then snapping into the 0 one more time, and then you're gonna bring it this on the other side. All right, so now you got something like this. I should have to bring this close to each other, but that's fine. For this demo, I just want to show you how to do it, and then you can fine tune your own. Now, remember we have this curve right here at the beginning before we trim it out. I'm also going to use the mirror to the other side. And once we get there, we're just going to use the sweep. Again, let's do the sweep one rail. This is the rail. This is the cross section for the rectangle. This is another cross section right there. And that will allow us to create a bottom of a ring shank. The very last step that we need to do is using this curve. And let's go ahead to make it into the solid by extrude it straight. And then for the bezel that we have, we just need to be boolean difference from this tube or the cylinder that we create. So that way we'll have something look like this hugging to our stone, and make sure that you have it better intersect, not the one that I have there, and then you can arrange your channel set right there. That's the full process for building this twist ring. If you want to apply this to your own jewelry CAD design and go deeper into the workflow, you can find more information about the full program that I offer in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next.